everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Mel. Thank you so much for joining me today for a goals discussion video. So in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about my goals that I had for 2021 and what goals I would like to continue or add for 2022. Let's start with the easy goal, and that is the Goodreads goal. In 2021, I set the goal at 80 books and I have read over 80 books. I am currently sitting on 92 books read. It is the 12th of December today, so I very possibly by the end of the year could get to 100. I'm not going to try and force myself to get to 100, but it's there on the horizon, something I could achieve, so that's pretty exciting. But next year in 2022, I've decided that I'm going to keep my Goodreads goal at 80, simply because I don't want to give myself too much pressure and too much stress. Reading is supposed to be fun, so I want to make it achievable. But also I actually really like it when I've beaten and then surpassed my goal. So yeah, that is what I'm going to do with my Goodreads goal. So in 2021, I did create some very specific reading goals and also channel goals, and some of those are going to be ongoing into 2022 or increased into 2022. So let's go through and talk about those now. What I think is probably the most important goal that I set for myself in 2021 and that I'm going to continue in 2022 is to read more diversely and more widely. So what I mean by this is partly to read more diversely in terms of reading from people of colour, reading from an LGBTQIA+ perspective, reading non-fiction as well as fiction, reading with different formats and different structures. All of that sort of thing is what I mean by diversifying my reading. The most important thing from my perspective is the people of colour representation and also LGBTQIA+ representation. So in 2021, 27% of the authors that I read from were BIPOC, and 20% of the books that I read had LGBTQIA+ representation. So I consider that to be okay. If I were grading myself, I would say that I was working towards, which means I haven't quite passed, but I'm certainly on the right track. Yeah, that is what I would consider that to be. I would like to increase that in 2022. So I don't have a specific amount of books that I want to read every single month or even throughout the year, but I would like at the end of 2022 to be able to look at my statistics and be able to say I had more than 27 or 20% that were BIPOC or LGBTQIA+ representative throughout the year. All of this will be tracked by Corpile, which is the rating system that was created by G from Books Roast, and I will link her channel in the description below so you can go and follow her, get a hold of Corpile if you want to. Anyone else I talk about in this video will be in the description as well. So I'll be keeping track of all of that through Corpile, but I will also be keeping track of all of that via a new game that I've created for myself, which I will explain to you at the end of the video. So in terms of diversifying my reading, those are the two things that I consider the most important, but I do have some other ways I want to try and diversify my reading as well in 2022 that I did want to try in 2021. Again, don't think I did super well with those things, but yeah, I want to try and improve in 2022. So that was around the types of books that I was reading, the sort of style or format that I was reading. Yeah, so looking at trying to read more graphic novels or manga, looking at trying to read more audiobooks, looking at trying to read books written in verse or poetry, that sort of thing. I don't tend to track e-reading in the same way. All of those other things that I mentioned are, for me personally, processed in a different way through my brain. Whereas e-reading, the only difference is that it's a digital form as opposed to a physical book that I hold. But otherwise, I feel like my brain processes it in the same way. So I don't tend to worry about tracking that and think too much about that in the sense of diversifying. So this year in 2021, I only read 6 audiobooks. I read 2 or 3 graphic novels. So yeah, I would really like to continue to diversify those things. As you guys know, I don't tend to read graphic novels or manga, so I'd like to branch out and try that a bit more. I have said that a couple of times over the last few years now, but I really do want to try and do that, and so that's reflected in the game that you'll see at the end of the video. I want to try and branch out a little bit more and read a few more audiobooks, although that is not my preferred way of reading, so I'm not going to be super worried about that, just because I don't get as much enjoyment out of audiobooks as I do physical or ebooks, but I still think that they have their place, and some books that I have read via audio I really enjoyed, so I want to try and read a few more, but again, not super worried about that, but again, it's going to be tracked via the game. I do also want to broaden my genres as well, so I read quite a few genres. The main areas that I don't tend to read much of is non-fiction or horror. I don't read any horror, but I'd like to try and read a few, see if there's some that I can enjoy, because I do quite like horror movies, so yeah, something I'd like to experiment a little bit with. In 2021, I said that I really wanted to do some more buddy reads. That is a way of reading that I've really been enjoying, so that was something I wanted to try and do more of in 2021, and I definitely achieved this goal. I have done a buddy read at least once a month, more than one buddy read each month usually. I've been reading with lots of different friends via BookTube and also non-BookTubers. I have also joined a few different read-alongs, which have been really, really fun. So that's a few different people reading books at the same time. I also started with my friends Ellie from Earl Grey Books and Lana from Law and Lullabies, the Last to Read book club. So this has been a really, really fun book club that we've really enjoyed running together. We've had a few people join us for the books we started a few months ago now, and we've read one trilogy called the Every series by Ellie Marnie, and we are currently reading the Arc of the Scythe trilogy by Neil Shusterman. And yeah, that's just been really, really fun, and that's been a really great way of, again, diversifying my reading and doing some buddy read type of things. I've also been joining some other people's book clubs as well, and I'd like to do more of all of that in 2022. So we'll definitely be continuing the Last to Read book club. We are thoroughly enjoying that, and all of that information for the book club, my announcement video, all of the stuff you need to get involved is in the description below. If you'd like to join us in the future, it would be absolutely amazing. We would love to have you. So please go and check all of that out, and yeah, join us for some reads. And yeah, I'd like to try and join a few different book clubs next year, some read-alongs, and just do some more buddy reads. So if you would like to do some buddy reads, if we've buddy read before or not, please do comment below. I'd love to organise some buddy reads with different people. Like I said, it's something I really, really enjoy. So yeah, get in contact with me. Something else that I have thoroughly enjoyed doing throughout 2021 that I'm definitely going to continue into 2022 is my TBR game, Roll of Reads. So I think I started that at the end of 2019, so it wasn't a new thing for 2021, but I definitely wanted to continue with it, and I did, and I am going to continue with it into 2022. I really enjoy the game, but I'm constantly tweaking it and changing things slightly to make it run better and be more fun from my perspective. So that is something that I have done again, and I'm actually going to be making a video where I talk through some of the changes and remind everyone of the gameplay and everything like that. So keep an eye out for that. It will be upcoming soon on my channel, but yeah, that's something I definitely am going to continue into 2022. I also said in the 2021 goals that I wanted to do more vlogs, but I didn't make a promise as to how that would work. I did think that it would probably be more sporadic. I currently do 2 uploads a week, and I don't want to guarantee that I will do 3. So I felt like if I did a weekly vlog, I should say, every single week, then either every single week I would have one video that was a vlog and one video that wasn't, but I have so much content I want to create, I didn't want to do that. Or I would have to have 3 videos, and I didn't want to commit to that because my work is quite fluid being a relief teacher, and I don't want to commit to something that I then can't achieve. So I was doing it very sporadically. The other thing that I realised over the last year is that the way that I tend to vlog, not just in terms of uploads, but the way that I actually sit down and talk to the camera and vlog is very sporadic as well. So I wouldn't necessarily have enough content in a vlog for each week. So what I've started doing in the last few months is monthly vlogs, which I actually am really enjoying, and I find it works really well for me and the kind of person that I am and the way that I approach BookTube. So in 2022, I'm going to do month-long vlogs, unless of course I change my mind again, which I may do, but at the moment it's working for me and I'm enjoying it, so it'll be month-long vlogs. They will go up on one of my regularly scheduled days, so either Wednesday or Saturday, but yeah, month-long vlogs. Speaking of regularity of videos, when things go up, what is scheduled, how often I make different kinds of videos and all that sort of thing. In the middle of the year in 2021, I did have a bit of a reflection on my channel and reflection on some of the different things that I was doing on my channel, and had a bit of a shake-up of what kind of videos I was doing and how frequent I was doing them and all of that sort of thing. I have sat down and had yet another reflection on all of that and made a few changes again going into 2022. So like I said, vlogs will be monthly. At the moment, I am doing a booktuber shout out every single month, and that is where I randomly select 4 different booktubers and tell you why they're amazing, why I follow them, why you should follow them. I really enjoy doing those shout outs, but to be honest with you, I don't necessarily enjoy doing that every single month. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bi-monthly booktuber shout out, and then that way I can do a slightly longer video because they were only about 5 minutes long. So if I do 8 booktubers, then I can do a 10-minute long video, and that'll be bi-monthly, like I said. The other video that will now be bi-monthly, so they'll alternate between them, is my kids book of the month, or kids book of the quarter as it became. Now, in the middle of the year, I did have a look at who was watching what was being viewed most often, and the kids book of the month videos weren't being viewed as much as the other videos I was making. But I really, really enjoy them, and it seems like the people that do watch them also really enjoy them. So I'm going to make that bi-monthly. So it'll be shout outs and then kids book of the month, and they'll be every month will alternate between the two. Potentially the kids book of the month won't necessarily always actually be kids book of the month, because I do have another channel which I don't upload to anymore, but still exists, which is always linked in the description if you want to check it out. And it's a parenting advice on kids and how to grow kids, how to raise kids. So potentially every now and then I might do more of a parenting advice and ideas video rather than just a straight kids book of the month. I will see how I go with that. I haven't 100% decided, and it won't necessarily be like every single June will be this, but I may do that as well. Another thing that I'm going to be implementing in 2022 is that I'm going to do quarterly updates on my favourites and my least favourites. So I'll have a favourite books of the quarter, favourite TV show / book adaptations of the quarter, and least favourite books and potentially least favourite adaptations, I'm not sure, of the quarter. So that will go up every single quarter. And then the final type of video that I want to change how I approach that is the stats videos. So I know there are some people on BookTube that love statistics, love making videos about their stats, all the different kinds of books they've read, whether they had 5 stars or what kind of star rating it had, and etc. Some people include that in their monthly wrap-ups. All that sort of thing is obviously completely valid and awesome, but I personally just don't love that stuff. It's not necessarily something I particularly want to watch, and it's certainly not something I enjoy making for myself. But I do know that some people do like having that information, so I didn't necessarily want to entirely rule it out, but I don't want to make one video that's just stats, and I think that I talk a bit too much to do it in a monthly wrap-up, to be honest. So I'm going to approach that via this game that I keep talking about, which we will get to very soon, any minute now. The final thing that I want to talk to you about before I get on to this new game is my goal that I set for myself in 2021 of not worrying, not thinking overly much about my numbers. So as we all know, if we are YouTubers or TikTokers or Instagrammers or anything like that, all of these different companies, and YouTube in particular, make their money by us gaining subscribers. So the more subscribers we have, the more watch hours we have, the more views we have, the more people will view those ads. So it is in YouTube's best interest to get me and everyone else to focus on how many subscribers I have and get to a certain number of subscribers and getting a certain number of views and a certain number of watch hours. So that is why on YouTube it's pushed as a really important thing that we should all aspire to, and it's the whole purpose of being on YouTube, etc. It's not though. Don't get me wrong, I definitely look at the numbers and I definitely care about how many subscribers I have, and you're all amazing. Thank you so much for subscribing, watching, commenting, etc. It's fantastic. It's amazing. I really, really, really appreciate it. But it isn't the be all and end all. So I wanted to stop focusing so much on that. It really wasn't very good for my mental health as well, or my emotional health. So it was important to me, and that's why I made it a goal. And I feel like I've done that. I feel like I've been making content that I enjoy. I have built an amazing community around this channel and around the friends that I've made on BookTube, and that has been the thing that has really, really helped me to enjoy what I'm doing and enjoy my channel, but also to not focus and not think too much about the numbers or worry too much about the numbers. Like I said, it's not that I don't look at the numbers, and I very much appreciate all of the people that have subscribed, and I get super excited every time I see that I have more subscribers and comments and all of that sort of stuff. So please don't stop. But I just didn't want to focus on it as much in 2021. And I feel like I didn't. And I think the most important way that I managed to achieve that is actually through my reading sprints. So every fortnight on my channel, and then in the alternating fortnight on Ellie's channel, Ellie and I do reading sprints. And it's been so much fun. It's been so amazing to get to know Ellie and to get to know the people that join us on our reading sprints. And I have to say, I am amazed with all of the people that join us regularly on our sprints. There are some people who come pretty much to every single sprint that we do, both those regular ones that we do every single week on our different channels, but also sometimes I do random productivity sprints and stuff like that. So there are some people that turn up to every single sprint that I do, and I just honestly am amazed by that. And that has really helped me to focus on my channel as being a community, as being a way to express myself and have fun and talk about something that I love, and to build relationships and build friendships. So thank you so much to those people. All of the information about those sprints are always in the description. If anyone wants to join us at any point, you're obviously more than welcome. But I really think that that has really helped me to really focus on what's important to me about this channel, which is the community that I'm building, the relationships I'm building, the friendships I'm making, the fun that I'm having, and not just how many people are hitting that subscribe button. Like I said, not that the people that have hit or do hit or are continuing to hit that subscribe button aren't important to me, because you all are really important to me, and it is important to me how many subscribers I have. We all feel like we want that, but it's just putting it into perspective, I guess. Anyway, I think I've achieved that, so I want to continue with that way of looking at things in 2022, which I think is really helpful for me and my mental health and my emotional health. Having said that though, my subscriber count has been growing pretty well and reasonably consistently over the last few months, and that's really, really exciting. I'm currently on just over 600 subscribers. I would like to put out there into the ether, into the universe, that by the end of 2022, it would be so amazing, and I would appreciate it so much if I were to hit the 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to try really hard, like I said, not to think overly much about that, not to focus too much on that, and certainly not to get upset about that if it doesn't happen, and more likely when it doesn't happen. But it's something that I'm I'd be really excited and I'm aiming towards. So I'm putting it out, manifesting it into the universe. Yeah. Sorry if the angle has changed slightly. I just needed to get a new battery. Anyway, so now it's time for me to talk to you about my new game that I've created. This won't replace the roll of reads. I will still continue to do that to determine my TBR every single month, but this is going to be another game that will help me to keep track of some of those goals and some of my statistics. I was inspired to create this game by Emma from Drinking by My Shelf. If you don't know who Emma is, then again, description, go check her out. But every single month, almost pretty much, Emma makes a video where she talks through her game, which is TBR Trail. But I also was inspired by myself because I kind of tweaked it to the point where it is now and based that a little bit on the way that I do behaviour management at school when I'm a relief teacher. So anyway, this is what we are talking about. So this is my new, like I said, my new game / my new way of keeping track of all of that stuff. So some of the things that I went through a little bit earlier in the video were things to do with diversifying my reading habits and the kind of books I was reading and so on. So that is what this smiley face column is about. As you see down the side here, we have a whole bunch of different points. What's going to happen is every single month when I go through and do this game, I will go through the books that I've read and I will talk about whether they fit into any of these categories. So we have up the top here BIPOC, LGBTQIA+, neurodiverse, mental / physical health representation, Australian Aboriginal, middle grade young adult, graphic novel, manga, audiobook, short story / verse, finish my TBR, so did I actually read all the books on my TBR game, unusual genre, so by that I mean a genre that isn't one of my usual genres that I read, translated, finished a series, so I have quite a few open series that I need to finish, so did I finish a series, and then buzzword. So buzzword refers to Kayla from Books and Lala's buzzword challenge that she runs throughout the year, and each month there are a number of different words or a different kind of word that has to be in the title of a book that you read that month. That's that section. Then I have this section down the bottom here, which has the unhappy face, as you can see, and there is a column which has all the months, and then there's a column for LGBTQIA+, and a column for BIPOC. And then up here we have a square that has all these magnets in it, as you see, and then down at the bottom we have owned TBR. So how it works is, as I go through and look at the books that I read in the month, I'll go through and say, okay, so this book I read, is it BIPOC? If it is, then I get a line over in this column. Is it LGBTQIA+, etc., all the way down. For each little row, once I have 3 lines under the smiley face, I get to add a magnet to this box over here. So I'll take all these magnets off before I start. I'm actually going to buy some prettier magnets, but anyway. Once this box is filled up, that's when I get a reward. So I have this little cute catty-corn box. I'm going to put some different ideas for rewards in here. So I'll definitely have book buying spree, but I'll also put some other rewards in there. I haven't thought of any except for book buying spree. So please make some suggestions for different rewards that I can get for this. So most of these are, if I manage to, if a book does meet one of these things, then I get the line. Once I get to 3 lines, that's when I get the magnet. Most of them are, it'll be great if. But the BIPOC and the LGBTQIA+, like I said, it's really important to me that I am reading more diversely in those areas. So that's where the unhappy box comes in. So for each month, I have to have 1 line in LGBTQIA+, and 1 line in BIPOC. If I don't, then I have to take off a magnet. So it doesn't matter how well I've done over here. Each month, if I don't have a line in each of those, then not only do I not get a magnet, then I have to take one away. The same book can cover multiple things, so I can have a line in not both for the same book, but has to have one line in each month, like I said, or I have to take a magnet. The own TBR down the bottom, for those of you that may know, some of you may not, my friend Michelle and I created some book buying bands for ourselves. We've made a video talking about our different book buying bands. I will link that in the description below if you want to go and check that out. But mine is ongoing into 2022. I have to read 5 books that I own, and then I can buy 1 book. So for every 5th book, every 5 owned books that I haven't read already, so that my owned TBR, every 5th book, I can buy 1 book. So the book buying spree that I put here is I can just freely buy books once I get there. But this one over here, that's going to be separate from that, but I could save it up and add it. So I could just be like, oh, got my 5th one, okay, cool, I get a magnet, and then get closer to that and then do the book buying spree or whatever it might be, or I can keep it separate. I haven't quite decided yet, but I guess I'll decide as I go along. So yeah, that's my new game / way of keeping track of everything. You'll notice that some of the stats, like how many pages I read, how many books I read, how many stars I had for each book, etc., isn't on here. That's the kind of information I can give you in each month, but yeah, I just wanted to make this whole concept of keeping my reading diverse and my stats a little bit fun. And yeah, like I said, Emma from Drinking Mama Shelf inspired me to make it a game. Those are my goals that I had in 2021 and that I will be having in 2022. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of them. What are some goals you've set for yourself in 2022? I'd love to know that. I really, really need your help thinking up some rewards for myself, so please comment those suggestions below. That would be absolutely amazing. If you'd like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then please leave me the cat unicorn, or just a unicorn, or just a cat emoji in honor of this little dude here. All of my social media details are listed in the description below, so if you'd like to go and follow me on any of those other platforms, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. But yeah, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I really do hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.